Welcome to my second application of Flutter web development. So for this application, I'm going to take you through the whole process that I've taken to build this application. So I've already created my application and it's called Temperature Converter app. So this is the whole layout of the application, and I'm sure you can also see it. So what this application does is to change temperature from Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna just do an example before we begin. So if I write 88 degrees, then convert. So it will show the result here that is in degrees Celsius, then the yesterday here it's storing the yesterday. So these are the temperatures that I've already imported on the application. So let's begin. So I'm coming back to my main.py, and this is the file that is the whole setup of the application. So this is the name of the application, temperature converter app, and it's defined here as a stateless widget. So inside this stateless widgets, there's a material app and a scaffold. So the first thing that I did is to make sure when you build this application, there's always a debug banner that is already here that sometimes it's red. So for you to remove it, I removed using this debug show check banner and I set it as false so that it won't show up. I also set up the theme data for the whole application, for the app bar, the title. So I set up the theme data, which is the background color of blue, the text style is the color, which is white, and also the font size is 24 and the font weight is bold. So I'm sure you can see it here. As you can see here, it's showing the app bar, which is blue here, and the text style is white, as I said here, and the font size is 24. So moving on to the scaffold. So the scaffold is basically the main layout of the application. So the application, it usually has the app bar, the title, and the body. So on the app bar, this is the app bar, and on that inside the app bar, it contains a text, which is the title of the application, which is called the converter, and the whole board here. The whole board is defined using this home screen function, which is defined inside the home screen dot file. We'll go there after I'm done here. So the whole board is engulfed using the safe area widget, and this safe area widget is used to make sure that the whole application is fitting safely inside the device that you are using. So going into the home screen dot. So inside this file, that's where all the logic of the application is taking place. So the first thing that you have to do, remember, this whole application is the body of the application. So here, this is the whole body of the application. So for the whole body of the application, I set a stateful widget, which is the home screen, which I will show you here inside the main.py, which is here. So going back to the home screen dot file. So I've set like I've created like a state of the home screen because and it was this create state because it will be storing some values that will be changing. That is, if a user put a value here and press convert, then input another value, that's the value is changing. So it will be listening to changes of what the user is doing. So I also defined a final variable, which is the temp controller, and this is holding the current temperature of the current temperature that is imported by the user. So I set some condition that if the input field, this is the input field on the application. So if the input field is empty, then you just press convert. It's going to show you this snake bar. So what is this snake bar? Is in red as it is shown here, and it's just telling you please enter a temperature value. So this is a snake bar, and this is make sure that user doesn't press. If he presses, it will tell them you have to input a temperature value, and it's indicated in red here. Then I've also defined some values, which is the input value, the double, the converted value, which is the value that will be converted, which will be shown here or here. And then the string operation. So the string operation is basically like this whole text that is written F to C, then 67 degrees, something like this. So this is the condition that I've said. Then now this is now where we're doing the calculation from converting to Fahrenheit to Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the first thing that we are doing here is to convert it to Celsius degrees from Fahrenheit. So this is the formula for converting to degrees Celsius. Then after that, it will print the input value like this. And I'm sure you can see it also here. So it's doing the same again for the Celsius to Fahrenheit. So once the user input the temperature, it will, if you press the convert button, it will store the result in this variable, which is defined here inside the set state widget. And the history also will be inserted. Remember, there's a this variable here. This variable is basically like storing a list of the history that we have inputted. So if I come back here, once you get the result will be inserted into this list of history. Then after that, I defined this is basically like a void function. This is make sure that it cleans the memory that the user inputs. Then after that, I defined an override function, and inside this function, this is where like the whole layout of the application will be built. So the first thing that I did is to use this stack widget. So the stack widget, it makes sure that it creates a stack layout widget, and it makes sure that the children inside there are defined in like they're stacked together. So, and I'm also using inside of this return stack widget, I've put a background image, which is this one. So I'm sure you can see this image that you see. This is the image here. And after that, I'm now doing the whole layout of the application. So here I've used the sing without scroll view. And this allows you to be able to scroll on your phone. You see here it's scrolling, but maybe you're trying to put something, you'll be able to scroll the whole application. So the first thing that you do is the cross-axis alignment. And this cross-axis alignment, it makes sure that it creates a vertical array of children. So this whole element that you see, they be arranged in a vertical order. Then after that, inside the column, inside this column widget, you have a conversation, a text, which is this one, and I'm styling it using color white, font weight, and font size, which is this thing that you see. Then after that, you see now you see this thing, the Fahrenheit to Celsius and this one, they are arranged in a row, which is horizontal. So that's why you see this row widget, which is here. And inside this row widget, there's a main axis alignment. So this main axis alignment, what it does is make sure that your children are arranged in a horizontal way and they are spaced evenly, as you can see here. Then its children are these ones, and the expanded this expanded widget, it makes sure that it takes widgets that expand a child of row, and they can fill the available space that you can see here. So moving on to, these are the text that you can see here, Fahrenheit Celsius, and and there's a radio that you see here. Yeah, this one, this radio, which is here. So it makes sure that when it's pressed, it will change its state and it sets its value to the if it's Celsius, it sets it to Celsius. So this same thing happens again to this part. It's the same thing. Then after that, we move on to this input text field. Yeah, we're done with this one. So it's a row, and inside that row widget, we create a text field widget, which is this one, and that text field widget, it carries the temperature controller. Remember the one that we defined on top there. So it will carry that thing. Then this will make sure that you only input a number inside this text field. Then I've added some decoration, and inside that decoration, I've made sure that users can see that they can enter temperature. Then it should look like something like this. I'm sure you can see this EG 98.6. This thing, it makes sure that users can input numbers, which is the int text. And I've styled it using the int style. And again, there's this borderline here. I've made it white so that it looks clean. So this same thing, this is for the input field. Then there's the same thing again for the output field, which is starting here. And it's basically like where the result will be displayed. First, it will show you 0 for the first time. But if you input the temperature, just carry the current value that we have changed the temperature. Then moving on to the convert button, which is been aligned at the center, and it's an elevated button. So when pressed, it will convert the temperature. Now it will make sure that the function that is doing the conversion of temperature, it will call that function and it will change it will change the state of it will display the result that will be here. So if the result is not now, which means the result is not now, which means the user inputted the correct numbers. You need to display something like this text. Then it's either from degrees Celsius, which is this one. So I want you to see something here. I want to put 20, right? So this is from Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So if I press this button, it gives me minus 6.67 degrees Celsius. But if I come here and click on the Celsius Fahrenheit, I want you to see something. It changes, but just click here. Now it's in Fahrenheit. This thing changes. So this is the whole thing that is defined here. And I've styled that text to be green. Then coming to the history section. So the history section, make sure that the values that you've tried to change the temperature, they will be shown you. So all the things that I've tried to change the temperature, they are all shown you. You can scroll down or you can scroll up to see what you've tried to change before. So yeah, this is my application, and I'm sure you have learned a lot from my application, and I've managed to apply to use as main widgets as you can. We've managed to use the single child scroll view widget, which will allow you to scroll your application and to make sure that the keyboard, if this was a raw phone, you press here and the keyboard will show up. So that keyboard, it won't give you it won't cover any of your text inside the application. I've used the raw widget, the column widget, and also the expanded, which is found in the layout widget. So yeah, this is my application, and I'm sure you've enjoyed using the application. So now, I'm going to play with the numbers, just put in some numbers, maybe 67. This is, remember, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Convert. Yeah, see it's changing. Then I'm going to just put it to this value and then convert. Yeah, that's it. That's it, and I'm sure you've enjoyed the application. Thank you so much for listening to my application, and feel free to give me feedback on my application.